When the noises outside are becoming scary, are getting you out of line, is getting you confused, getting you worried, getting you depressed, getting you frustrated, is an indication that you need to connect within. Now, how do you connect from within? Now, to live peaceful in a chaotic world we find ourselves, we have some spiritual practices which we must not undermine in our everyday lives. One is disconnect to reconnect. Now, you have to disconnect to reconnect. How do you make this possible? You disconnect to reconnect by simply unplug from the news, from the social media, from the voices outside, from the internet. You simply unplug and you go within. Now, the internet, what is going on around, the news you hear are always going to make you get scared all the time because this news has always been there. We've always heard news, we've always heard stories, so you don't need to allow these things eat you up. You just need to understand that it's part of the process. Yes, that's why the Bible says we are in the world, we are not of this world. Now, there's something in you that is bigger than what you think. You just have to connect within. Only connecting within, you're going to find real peace. You're going to check within, sit back, relax, and simply observe how you feel within you. Simply understand that you can't find peace outside. Rather, peace is within. So you must disconnect from the social media, from the news. Take our time to relax. Take our time to reflect. Take our time to observe yourself personally and understand what is going on within you. It is very important. And secondly, we have breathe with intention. Now, this is another spiritual practice that is very, 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 very worthwhile. Now, you have to try this. You have to make sure you breathe with intention. It's a breathing techniques. Yes, sometimes, some times ago, I've say some about a year or two now, I learned this from a book, and I also learned it from this from one. There's a particular monk I used to watch way back on Facebook. Yes, he always talked about these breathing techniques, and I started practicing it, and I discovered that it is a very, very good techniques that works for the mind. Now, simply what do you need? What you need to do is simply watch your breath. Watch your breathing. Watch it with attention. You just focus on your breath. Like you inhale for like four, let's say for some seconds. Let me not be specific, but just try how you can do it. Hold your inhale, then after inhaling, then you hold for some seconds, maybe 5 seconds or 5 seconds will do. Then after holding for 5 seconds, then you breathe out slowly, then you exhale slowly. Now you inhale, then after inhale, you inhale deeply, then you hold your breath for let's say 4 to 5 seconds, or let's say 5 seconds, okay? Then you breathe out. Then you find out that as you're doing this, you intentionally you watch your breathing. You intentionally you see how the breathing, how it works. No, ordinarily you do these things, but you don't take note of it. But now, what it is now these breathing techniques, it helps you to watch your breath. Now, watching this breath, there's a whole lot. In fact, there's something. It's something you just you might not understand except you practice it. Now, to you, it might look very trivial, but the practice is what it is. Now, when you practice these breathing techniques, you take out time to watch your breath with intention, you find peace. Now, no matter how stressed you are, you just discover that it starts to ease. You start to feel ease. You start to feel this relax, your nerves, it's relaxed, it becomes relaxed. You put away nervousness, you put away every form of stress. It just makes you feel peaceful and calm. It's a very good technique you must practice if you want to be peaceful in this chaotic world. And we also have, you need to understand that to live in a chaotic world we find ourselves, you have to create, should I say, you create a sacred routine. When I say creating a sacred routine, how do you create a sacred routine? Now you must, during the day, or probably you must find time, if maybe 15 minutes, especially, it's very good in the morning. You take out time to meditate. Now, even if it's 15 minutes a day, you take out time to meditate, take out time to pray. Now, praying, meditation, maintaining stillness, it helps you, it connects you to the inner self, it connects you to the universe, it connects you to God, it connects you to your creator. Now, praying, meditating is something is a very good spiritual practice, because it helps you reflect, it helps you being calm. And if you maintain this practice, before you know what's happening, you start to hear voices from within. Now, these voices from within are voices you wouldn't hear ordinarily when you're too busy with over bodily activities and all of that. But simply relaxing, simply taking our time to relax, taking our time to be still, taking our time to be meditative, taking our time to pray, these are sacred routines. Now, these routines helps you to connect with the inner self. It helps you connect with the universe, help you connect with the creator. It keeps you in a reflective state, in a sober state. And this is very, 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 very important for you as an individual. So, you also need to understand that number four, you also need to understand that you must, to be peaceful in this chaotic world, you must accept what you cannot control. Yes, a whole lot of us don't want to accept this. Now, you must pray. You must also, at all times, you just have to ensure there's a particular quote I like. It says, Lord, give me the serenity to accept things I can't change. Now, you take this quote very important. Lord, give me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. Yes, the things you cannot change, you need to accept them. Acceptance, it means surrender. Now, surrendering to what you cannot change, it's a very good way to go, because you can't change everything. There are some things that you can't change. Just imagine the situation: someone is short, and all the time he or she is worried that he is short, he's not tall like his mate, and he or she feels unhappy because of his or her height. That automatically means this person is going to become worried, and is going to become frustrated and depressed all the rest of his or her life, because this certainly is something you can't change. You just need to accept it. Now, what happens? Acceptance is total surrender to what is. It simply means, oh, I just have to go on with what is. Now, you accepting the moment, you accepting the way it is, and you don't fight it. Now, once you have this mentality, it helps you, it gives you strength to move on. It gives you strength to push on. So you don't just have to say, okay, because things are like this, I'm tired of life. No, that becomes depressing, becomes frustrating, and at the end of the day, it might even lead to a whole lot of damages, a whole lot of mental issues. So you don't need all of this. So what you need is the serenity to accept things you can't change. Just pray for this. So once you understand this basic principle or this basic step, you simply will move on peacefully, and you're going to understand that life isn't all about, should I say, worrying. So you just need, there are things you just accept as it is, and you just pray for the serenity to accept these things and don't fight it. So that is one of the things we must understand. Now, the last on this five spiritual practice is a shift from reaction to presence. Now, some persons are very quick at reacting. You react to everything. No, you don't just need to react to things. Now, what you need to do is you have to be present. Now, what does this presence means? Now, being present simply gives you the opportunity. It gives you the opportunity to understand that in life, you just simply being still, simply being still, looking at things from a different perspective. Now you understand. Okay, let me make this clear for you. Now, take for instance, someone in your office, or you have a boss in your office who is very very aggressive. Now, if your boss comes to you and talks to you in an aggressive manner, if you react in an aggressive manner, now what does that mean? It means there's going to be stalemate, there's going to be problem in the office. Now, you being present, you understand that, oh, this is my boss, this is who she is, or this is who he is. Let me just be calm. Now, in your present state, you try to understand things and you see things from a different perspective. You understand that, oh, this is who she is. Now you don't react, you simply just remain still while you allow the inner self make the decision. Now, by simply being still, it keeps you in a state of calmness, in a state of relaxation. You don't just react to things. Now, maintaining stillness sometimes is very important. To cultivate this habit, you need to sometimes sit, find a space in your house, in your around you. You maintain a sitting posture. You just sit down for, let's say, 5, 10, 15 minutes every day. You sit still without moving any part of your body. You just watch yourself, remain still. Now, if you maintain this practice or every day you make it you make it a habit of sitting still, being present, just listening to the inner self, listening to your thoughts, listening to the voice inside, not paying attention to the outside voices or to the external voices. You're just paying attention to what you feel within. Now, this makes you present, and it moves you from the reactionary part of yourself rather to the present part. It keeps you in the present state, and it doesn't make you react to things like everyone else would do. But now you now have a different perspective and an inner shift. So understanding this is very, very important. So that is how it is. The world didn't take it from you. You just forgot how to return to it. So return back to it, and you'll find life fulfilling and enriching. Thank you.